Hey folks, how you doing? Okay. You know, black folks often wonder why they're hated so much by people around the world, especially white people. Why? Why are they hated so much? Okay. We'll take a look at this. Yeah. We'll go back to its roots. Okay. And so we'll start off by bringing on certain colors that were main colors of the ancient Egyptians' mystery system, etc. And their paintings, when they paint their gods and so forth and so on. Okay, these colors were, let's say, black. Okay, they were like a reddish color, reddish brown. Okay, and there was green. Okay, well, they would paint their god of Source, who was the main god of the Kemites. Okay, sometimes they'd paint him black, sometimes they'd paint him red, sometimes they'd paint him green. You know, well, what's going on here? Well, the blackness actually stood for black melanin, dark melanin, and the red stood for a melanin also, a lighter melanin that's in our bodies. And the green stood for chlorophyll. Well, we get from plant life. Well, we humans, we're part plant too. Okay? So anyway, these are the three colors, you know what I mean, that we see when we look at the statues and so forth and so on. And we also see in some countries, they have these colors too, of black on their flag, black, red, and green. I don't know exactly what these later generations mean by that, but we were talking about the melanins and the chlorophyll originally. Okay, now so the black folks were hated because of their skin color. You see, and this gets us into the mystery system. The black folks didn't devise a mystery system just to keep somebody else out, like lighter-skinned people. But this mystery system, was devised, okay, hundreds of thousands of years before. They were like white people or light brown people, etc. It was just black people in the world at that time. So, of course, they made their spiritual system, it had to do with black folks and the physiology of black folks. Of course it did. There was no one else around. So, but anyway, getting back to the hatred thing, we know that the Kemites, or the ancient Egyptians, were invaded and conquered by the Greeks. Okay. But the Greeks could not participate in the ancient Egyptian mystery system, or their religion, let's say. Okay. Because they were physiologically incapable. They simply didn't have the melanin. No one was trying to keep them out. They attempted to go through the mystery system and they just couldn't do it. Okay, a curator of the British Museum some years ago, Wallace Budge, said that the Greeks couldn't do it because they were physiologically incapable. That's it, So it had to do with black physiology, melanin, and so forth and so on. Of course, the Greeks didn't like this. They were the conquerors, but they say, well, those folks know things that we don't know, and we're their conquerors. And so, the conquerors don't want to hear anything like their subjects knowing things that they don't know. And so they didn't like the subject. They killed a lot of the priests. Some of the priests just fled into exile. Okay, so they burned down a lot of libraries. The Greeks did this because they didn't understand what the writings were about, what was being said. They couldn't have that. Okay, but anyway, later the Romans come. They went through the same thing. They couldn't participate either. Okay. But they gathered as much information as they could, and so forth and so on. They would go over and take it back to Rome, okay? And so we have the Roman Catholic Church and all that stuff start off. But they didn't understand either, even until this day. And they have all the artifacts and everything, but still, they don't really participate fully into that system. Okay? So now, we had the colors, okay, that tell us, okay, what it was about. The black, the red, and the green. But the sad thing about the Africans and their diaspora, like the Afro-American, etc., okay, is that they don't understand the mystery system either. But they can fully partake of it if they get the understanding of how to do it. Okay? And so there are ways of doing it. So the ancient Egyptians had such practices as yoga. This yoga business originated in Africa, not in India. It was the Africans who migrated to southern India before the northerners came down invading. They did the same thing. They conquered the blacks too. Okay. But those folks who went there, they understood the mystery system to probably a greater degree than the Egyptians did. No, less, to a lesser degree than the Egyptians, I should say. Okay. But then they went on to China. Africans went on to China. The first people in China were Africans. They took their mystery system with them, and their yoga exercises and all that. These are African exercises. They originated there. You know what I mean? And so the blacks today can practice yoga in combination with their black skin. Okay? They do fine. One thing they'll do, they'll stop hating themselves, if in fact they do. They may be hated by others, as they are today, but they within themselves can overcome, okay, through the knowledge that they evoke from themselves, through practicing the rituals of the ancients or creating their own rituals, okay. So the black people, if they feel cursed, it's because they don't know their own system, the system of their forefathers, that will free them from any curse, which is the result of their own ignorance, not knowing themselves. They can free themselves from this, okay, if they simply take part in the practices, the yoga, in conjunction with the black skin, and how to use the melanins and chlorophyll in their bodies. All these things come into play, you see. And I talk about them. In the future, I talk about these things and how they can be used, too. Okay, folks, have a good one. All right, bye.